Looking at birth control options. I'm planning on getting married in a couple of months, so I want to prevent any pregnancy. I do plan on, having kids later on in life, but not for like this first year or two. And I also have heavy periods, and I've wanted to come in and talk about that and see if there's anything that can help that. I'm just kind of worried that birth control is going to make my periods even worse, or just I don't want to be infertile, so I just wanted to see what you had to say about that.
Okay. It's a very, very common concern among women. I'm glad you asked because scientifically they do not show like chances of infertility.
Oh, that's good.
Usually when a woman goes off the birth control, it'll take a little bit of time, but their periods will go back to normal and menstruation will continue.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Do you want to know the different options? There's hormonal and there's non-hormonal options.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about both.
Okay. So for our first option, which is one of the more common ones, is the birth control pill. And this is just a pill that contains both estrogen and progesterone, and that will help prevent ovulation in your body, which in turn means your ovaries do not release the egg.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And it also thickens your cervical mucus but thins the cervical lining, so an egg cannot implant if it gets through. When taken consistently, it's very effective. And then as well as it makes periods lighter, which is what you're worried about,
yeah,
more
that would be
regular
really good.
and less painful. There
Awesome.
are a few downsides as well, which is that you have to remember to take it every day because the estrogen, it can slightly increase the risk of blood clots. So it depends on it if you have like certain health conditions or you smoke regularly.
Okay. Is there anything that's like more, not like permanent, but like it's not something I'd have to remember to take every day? Because I can be pretty forgetful, and I'm worried that taking a pill, I would forget to do that.
Of course. So there are also things known as hormonal IUDs, which are implanted inside the uterus, and it releases hormones that work with thickening the mucus again. But that makes it difficult for the sperm to reach the egg. But it also thins the uterine lining and can suppress ovulation. Major advantages is that it is over 99% effective.
Oh wow.
And it can last between 3 to 8 years.
Oh wow, yeah.
And another benefit is that, again, lighter periods or even having to stop the periods.
That'd be super nice.
So it's very recommended for people who have heavy menstrual bleeding. There are disadvantages as well. It has to be inserted by a healthcare provider. And it can be uncomfortable, which can lead to like irregular bleeding or cramping, and that's very common within the first few months.
Okay, gotcha. So it'd just be like the first few months after you get the IUD that you would bleed and it would be painful, but like long term it would like actually help with my heavy bleeding. Okay.
And are there any options besides that you're interested in?
Yeah, I was actually wondering if there's any like non-hormonal birth control options.
There are great non-hormonal birth control options, like our copper IUD. It is very similar to the regular IUD. There are just a few differences. First, it creates no hormones. But the fact is that the copper ions in it are toxic to both the sperm and the uterus.
Okay.
So that means that the sperm cannot survive, or it prevents it from fertilizing an egg.
Okay, so what are the pros and cons to that?
Again, 99% effective. This one can last 10 years or longer, so it's one of the longest lasting birth control options. It's a great choice for people who want to avoid like adding more hormones into their system. However, it can cause heavier periods, more cramping, so again, would not recommend it for you since you already have heavier periods, and it requires insertion from another healthcare provider.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I feel a lot better about this rather than just watching videos on TikTok about birth control. That made a lot more sense. So thank you.